Welcome to Licht, Hören, a podcast about light, lighting, and the people behind it. Here, we explore this fascinating field, from education and daily practice to how we imagine and shape its future. Welcome again to Licht, Hören. Our guest today is Gallagher, and she is working at WSP in the United States, and she's based in New York City. And I'm very curious what she's telling us today about herself. Grace, if you had to introduce yourself and explain what you do, what would you say?
So I would say I'm a transportation lighting designer. So I do the lighting designs and layout and calculations for a lot of infrastructure projects. So most of my work is roadways, bridges, airports, train stations, tunnels.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
There's definitely a lot of conversation about and research going into glare and pedestrian safety and driver safety.
And you are the one who's then taking the research into practice and planning it.
We do a lot of roadway committees, and they'll write the standards, and then we'll go and do our design based on those standards and make sure we're following the criteria and everything.
How did you first come into contact with lighting? Where did you start?
So growing up, I always loved math and science. I loved my math and science classes, but I also loved art and design and just being really creative. And so when I was looking into going to college, I found architectural engineering, which I thought was maybe a mixture of both the design, like architecture, and the engineering side. And while I was there, I took a lighting course, and we had to design a light in this software. And that was kind of when I realized that light could be that creative, but also math heavy pathway for me. And so once I got an internship in lighting, it was game over from there.
Game over.
I know.
That's a nice saying.
I don't know if I like that I said that, but here we are.
No, but the thing is, a lot of people say, like, whenever they started with lighting, they are trapped. They just stay there. So you studied architecture originally, and then you put on top a master's degree in lighting?
So I originally studied architectural engineering, which is definitely different from architecture. I didn't necessarily know that going into it. And then from there, I had studied my concentration undergrad was construction management. And I had an internship at the Denver airport, and it was a very good experience. But that was when I realized also that that wasn't for me, and I really liked lighting. So I went and stayed and got my master's in building systems engineering with a concentration in lighting and electrical.
Actually, where did you study?
I studied at University of Colorado Boulder for undergrad, and then that was also where I got my master's.
When you did your technical career beginning, you also did an internship in Denmark. What was it about?
Yeah, so I studied renewable energy systems in Copenhagen over a summer, and I was able to climb a windmill. We learned about windmills, we learned about solar panels, we learned about geothermal, and it was very cool to go to Denmark, to the heart of really one of the first countries to really implement renewable energy, and they're so passionate about it there. So it was definitely very cool to have that experience and just like renewed appreciation for it.
But it didn't keep you in the renewable engineering part. It was still lighting.
Yeah, it was still lighting. I still needed a little bit more creative and design. Yeah.
Beautiful. So would you like to walk me through one day of your work? Just an ordinary day, nothing special.
Yeah, so it's a lot of calculations. It's a lot of rendering. So if someone brings us onto a project, we will work with them to kind of get the layout of the land and everything, and then we'll pull the fixtures, we'll pull the criteria that we need to follow, and then we'll kind of do like a base layout and kind of see where we land with that. And then we'll run the calculations, and then we'll put it into a rendering software because it's just easier for the client or whoever we're working with to kind of visualize. And then if we get the go ahead, then we kind of start with the drawing production, and then there's always comments going back and forth. And so, yeah, it's just a constant conversation that we're having, constantly running calculations.
So is there something which is especially interesting or surprising when you tell people what you do, when you talk about
Definitely, they're always surprised. When I say I'm a lighting designer, their first question is, for Broadway? And I go, no, for transportation, infrastructure. And then they're always like, oh, I didn't even know people do that. That's not even something, and that is kind of our job, is to design lighting that is not noticed, and to just be able to make sure everybody's able to see, and for safety. And so I think we always say it's like good lighting is not seen and bad lighting is what's noticed.
You mentioned that there's also a lot of detail into especially transportation lighting, or for example tunnel lighting, like also health issues might be also affected there.
Yeah, so that was something that I didn't really know until I got this job, which was very interesting to me. Is if you're going a certain speed and the lights are spaced out at a certain distance, and someone that is epileptic, they could have a seizure. And so just being like super cognizant of that and everything has been very eye-opening.
Yeah, I think that might be really eye-opening for a lot of people. So is there something you're particularly proud of?
I really do like the industry that I'm in. We're not like the loudest, like we're not the ones doing like in your face design. Like we're kind of the ones, like one of the backbones, I would say, because I think good lighting does make or break a space.
Mm.
And it affects so many things. It affects mental health. It just affects everything. And so I am proud to be in an industry that focuses on that and is trying to make well-being better. And we're very focused on environmental impacts. And so we just take everything into consideration. So I'm proud to be part of that. So there's the Illuminating Engineering Society. When I moved to New York City, I joined the New York City chapter, and they were putting on a mentor-mentee program. And since my whole team is based up in Boston, I thought that this would be a really good opportunity for me to get connected with people in the industry here. And so that just really resonated with me.
That's gorgeous. Is there something less glamorous or challenging about what you do every day?
Yeah, there's a couple things. I think the first thing is sometimes the drawing production and writing specifications. That really is not my most favorite part of the job, but it allows me to keep doing the design and everything else that I do love about the job. And then also just when a client or someone wants a design that you don't necessarily agree with, and trying to work with them to get to a middle ground, or finding the most appropriate way to light something. I think those are probably my two biggest ones.
Thank you. Could you tell us a little bit about a project you did and it was realized?
Since I've only been at this company for 3 years, none of my projects have been finished yet.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
Yeah, we're redoing a bridge that had gotten shut down for structural reasons. And so we're doing the roadway lighting for that, but then we're also doing the aesthetic lighting. So we're doing some lighting on the facade of the bridge. And just to kind of it's kind of in a residential area. So we're trying to just give the residents something, and like visitors, kind of make it a little more exciting than just a bridge.
So it's also making it a landmark, but at the same time keeping it safe and aligned with environmental restrictions. If there was somebody around you who would be interested in lighting, what would you suggest to do to them?
I would say get as much exposure as you can. So like for me, when I thought I might be interested in lighting, I talked to a few people in the industry, and I was able to get an internship with a lighting sales agency out in Colorado. And so that was kind of my first intro into it. And then I got an electrical engineering internship. And then now I'm with a lighting design company, or lighting design role within a company. And so I kind of was able to get the whole picture and kind of decide from there what exactly I wanted to do within the industry.
And if you were, if you could talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell that person?
I would tell her that you're not too cool and you're not too busy, to get involved with as much as you can, and to go and try things and join all the clubs and just meet everybody that you can. meet as many people from as many walks of life as possible, because that's where you learn.
Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
It's nice to talk to you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye. Have a good one.
Want to build skills and gain a formal title? If you already work with lighting and planning, electrical engineering or architecture, the European lighting expert might be perfect for you. It's short and job-friendly, often just a few weeks, and a Europe-wide credential for pros who want to be certified. Check the show notes for details and contacts. You have been listening to Licht, Hören, a joint project of the lighting societies of Germany, Austria and Switzerland. Thank you for listening. You'll find ways to connect with us through the comments or in the show notes.